Hey, yo, it's Monday. It's Labor Day. It's Monday Night Beers. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Burns, how many hot dogs? What's the hot dog tally for the weekend?
Total tally is I did take down a whole pack of the jalapeno cheddar. They're all gone. And yeah, it's I cleaned the pack out. Like I can't stop, won't stop. They got to be,
dude. I've done 4. I'm on at 4 for the weekend. No shame.
yeah.
I haven't had any hot dogs. Does that make me a jerk?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend, man. Come on.
I had it.
See, what I did.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I cooked the whole pack in the cast iron at once. I score it so that it all gets charred, and then I pre-roll them in buns, and then just put them in the refrigerator. I make PRs out of them. Yeah. So then it's just open up the thing, microwave it for 30 seconds. Throughout the, I'm always stashed with fucking hot dogs.
It's like a cartoon. Burnsy does the fucking, and it comes out the back of his neck and then drops down into his belly.
Jesus.
Popman, were you going to say something about what you were eating?
Let's see. We had chicken sandwiches. We were trying to go vegetarian this week, but then I remembered it's tomato season, so we got some real nice tomatoes and made some BLTs, which are really good. I feel like the BLT is actually a tomato sandwich more than a bacon sandwich.
Yeah. Well, gnarly birthday weekend. I know you fucking house some grub, dude.
Yeah, too many wings, dude. I'm over wings. I had 36, and I was just doing like 4 an hour until about halfway through Saturday. Just not even heating them up either, just punishing myself.
That's like the marathon version of Joey Chestnut. You're like the long distance.
It was good though, man. Had night market yesterday or Saturday and finished those leftovers. We ordered like 12 things. We went really hard in the paint. I'm like sweating food out. Like it's not even hot in here right now, but I've just been hurting.
Couple Amboys.
Yeah, I went to Ambo. I can't believe I ate 2 of those burgers. I ordered 2 and just smashed them both. It's fucked up. Weed's the problem, man. That's all I've been doing is just chain smoking weed when I'm not drinking, and it's constantly eating something every hour. Just nonstop.
I have a question about those Amboy burgers. They're like so confident in their meat that it's just meat, cheese, bun. Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, the fat one I sent you, that's a dry aged ribeye. That's a 10-ounce burger. They just cook real quick, so it's like kind of medium rare on the inside. And then the other shit is just other like baller ass steaks they have.
Yeah.
Grounded up. But it's really good, man. No, there's like a burger sauce. There's like a Thousand Island on that second one. Then the DH burger had like a garlic aioli and like a confit or some other bullshit. I don't know. It's really good though. I like those burgers a lot, dude. Well, I got 2 of them.
Yeah, like I respect any place that's just like, look, we put a little bit of sauce on it, but the meat's the star of the show.
Yeah,
like,
it
we
is.
don't need to pile that with fucking. It's great.
Do you think when it was 114 yesterday that there was anyone in the Roos parking lot? I mean patio, on their patio.
I hope not.
The heat index had to be like 120 or something.
Coming out the blacktop?
There's just always those people that are like, we're going anyway. Fuck it. It's fucking, I'm not some pussy. Like I told you guys, I kept sending you pictures. It was fucking 120 heat index. Motherfuckers out there golfing in the blazing sun. That one fool with the ankle length fucking jean shorts on had to have fucking swamp ass like a motherfucker. Like that's a heart attack waiting to happen just because you want to show up your machismo.
That guy's tight.
Even just smoking on my balcony, I was like dripping sweat like through my t-shirt, just being outside for like 7 minutes.
Hot cigs.
Didn't lose power though, which was pretty sick.
Yeah.
You guys lose power? Nothing?
No, man. My AC yesterday was struggling, but it never fucking went down completely.
We fell asleep on our couch. That's where the AC hits the hardest. I mean, I just woke up and it was like 1 a.m. I'm on the couch, very confused.
The AC, right? That's what had you confused?
What's up?
It was the AC that was confusing you when you woke up?
Well, that, like I said, I just been like yesterday's when I had those 2 burgers, so I was just fucking out of my mind all day. Just in like a fucking meat cloud. It was gross, dude.
First up today, Britt _Allen would like to know, would you rather look like Mark Davis or have wooden legs?
Mark Davis, man.
Do I get to be as rich as Mark Davis?
There's Mark Davis for anyone who hasn't been taking a look. That's the owner of the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
I mean, the guy's a billionaire with a $5 haircut and he eats at PF Chang's and shit.
No, it says look like him. You don't get to be him, dude.
Okay, well,
I think I'm still going to go ahead and try to work that cut and do it because the wooden legs does not sound like a cool time. You know?
No.
You get
Also,
some
what-
badass wooden legs though, like some I don't know whatever like the most expensive wood is. There's no limit on what kind of wooden legs you can have, right?
You can have any kind of wooden leg you want, gnarly.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like a mahogany, have it like carved, like with some skulls.
Just something
in it, like that
badass.
kind of thing. That look-
Well, like a wheel and brake on them, kind of like rollerblades.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure, you know, it's come a long way since the pirate ship peg leg situation, you know?
why do they need to be wooden? I mean, if I could get some Oscar Pistorius legs, then I'll take those, and I wouldn't murder my girlfriend. But
Well, see, that's an easier would you rather. That's why the would you rather is wooden legs
Yeah.
or Mark Davis.
I think I'll just look like Mark Davis because I can make it work anyway.
I feel like Mark Davis is like Eric Trump if he was a cool guy. Like, because he rolls around in the minivan, he's hanging out, like, you know, going to PF Chang's, flying somewhere to get that haircut for like $2,000. He's a fun guy. He's like the outcast Trump family member who's like, yeah, this guy's still a rich asshole, but he's real fucking wacky and not hurting anybody.
Pure speculation that it probably doesn't have a lot to do with his looks, but someone commented, have we ever seen his wife? It's a real mind blower. So I'm guessing he has a very nice looking wife despite his appearance. But I don't know.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, looks aren't everything. You
That's
gotta
right.
be a nice guy, and you gotta be cool.
He owns an NFL team. That's all you
He's
need
pretty
to know.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones still gets laid. He looks like fucking Skeletor, but
She's taller than him.
Jesse Pop claims to know the sexcapades of Jerry Jones, whether or not he's being paid. Mingstein would like to know, with this weekend being a scorcher, do you cook outside or just order out? I've been banished to the grill outside to keep the house cool. Cheers, guys. It's too fucking hot to even be outside with the grill, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, you're tripping, dude.
we did. Yeah, we're trying not to turn on the oven because it's too hot. But cool stuff, salads and the like.
I did a crock pot yesterday.
Good move.
Yeah, like you don't want to be fucking baking shit up, but I think some fucking precision moves at the stovetop is got to be okay, you know? Unless, I mean, if your crib don't got no AC, then all bets are off. You're fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might as well make a turkey
Yeah.
then. You're hot anyway.
You might as well
I
make
did.
a turkey.
I pulled a page out of the Michigan Mom rule book when we'd eat in the basement because we didn't have AC, and I made a massive pasta salad with like andouille sausage and bell, you know, like old school, super Italian-y, like tangy parm. It was just beautiful, but I've got so much left. Like I can't, as one person, eat like a potluck-sized thing of pasta salad. But I showed it to Gnarly. He's like, that doesn't seem like a problem, man.
Yeah, I would have smashed that
rocking
for sure yesterday. I would have ate that whole
But like
thing.
that's
dude.
my that's my food is except for the hot dogs. I just get out the big thing of pasta salad, pop the top in a fork, and I just put a big dent in it back in the fridge.
Mhm.
Fucking A, man.
It was Graze.
Mingstein also says happy birthday to Gnarly.
Mhm.
Jojo Allen says happy birthday to Gnarly. And
Thanks,
his
man.
question, as a kid, I hated a lot of music I just didn't get because I was a dumb young metalhead. What are some bands or artists you regret sleeping on? I only recently started listening to The Cure and Billy Joel and wish I would have gotten into them sooner. You know, the Rolling Stones took me a long time. Like I liked Zeppelin and the fucking Beatles and the Who and shit, but like the Stones, I couldn't get my head around it. I mean, I'm not mad that it took me a longer, but I feel like that's a band I didn't totally get, even though it seemed like I should have.
Yeah, I didn't really, as a kid, I wasn't even that into music. I just basically just listened to what was on the radio, and I liked, like fucking whatever, Hall and Oates and Phil Collins and shit. And then wasn't until my college, like 1920, that I got into music. So there's a lot of bands I didn't like until like.
Also, I feel
Yeah.
like Metallica for me, because I went from like fucking classic rock to like hardcore and punk, like right between like 7th and 8th grade, and all the dudes who had Metallica shirts I thought were fucking shitbags.
Yeah, burnouts.
And I just assumed that it was like I wasn't into it. Like the imagery I didn't get. And so it took me another
Yeah.
year or so to figure out that I was wrong.
I thought Metallica was scary when I was a little kid. What is it? What's the one? The T-shirt
Sandman.
where's the knife coming out of the toilet?
Metal up your ass.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I was like, that's for scary kids who smoke.
Bob's doing a double take before he sits down on the toilet.
I don't know, dude. Kiss? I don't know. I always thought Kiss was stupid. Then I started listening to Kiss and I'm like, oh, this shit rocks.
I think the two things that it took me being late 30s, early 40s was classic country, even though I listened to tons of that because my grandpa would play it all the time on 8-track in his bar. But like getting old Merle Haggard and Waylon albums and like really listening to the whole thing, like that's become really pleasurable for me. And like jazz, listening to deeper Miles Davis stuff, like throughout the day, that's usually what I play, is because it's just, you can just put it on and it makes your house feel good. You don't have to focus on it. But a lot of that stuff like Coltrane and stuff that I didn't appreciate when you don't have the patience, I think, as a younger man sometimes to really, listen to a few hours of that where you really appreciate it. And then there's like, and I talk about this all the time, the difference between being what's best and what you like. And the older I get, the less I fucking care. Good song's a good song. I don't give a shit.
Well,
Yeah,
Except for when Vince took a shot at me for listening to Sugar Ray the other day, which is not true. It's not true.
I think that I don't always give shit a lot of time to make or break. And so nowadays, because you don't have to go buy like, if you have like a CD changer in your car, if you get one song that you like, you're eventually going to forget and you're just going to end up listening to the whole record and liking the record. That happens a lot. But now the way I do music mostly is like, a lot of times something might be good, but I don't even fucking stay with it,
Yeah, like some of my favorite records now were things that when I first bought, I didn't like. But it's like, well, I bought the fucking thing. I might as well listen to it some more, right? Because you only can buy.
Right.
I would buy for like 10 years. I bought 1 to 2 CDs a week because that's what I could afford. And you're like, well, I bought it, and then eventually, like 3 months later, it clicks. But now you're so overwhelmed with free music, you don't spend time sitting with records, and so it feels weird to complain that you can listen to whatever you want. But I kind of like feel like I'm probably missing out on a few records because I just don't have patience anymore.
I mean, that's what vinyl's for. Like,
Yeah.
I very carefully choose about usually one a week. Like on Friday when I'm drinking beers, I find it pleasurable to buy an LP online, and then I get it. And like I got Phil Collins' Face Value the other day, and like I love 80s pop music. And in the liner notes, it's a re-release, and he talks about how people bought his CDs in whenever and would listen to just the hits. And the reason he put the LP out was like, I think there's great songs in here. And I was like, oh, it really makes sense. That's the way I feel. Like when I buy a $20 or $30 record album, I'm going to flip that thing a bunch of times on the record player and really enjoy it. And I think it's fun to buy stuff like a Tears for Fears record that you only know the hits and see like, well, I guess I never listened to this album. There's got to be other good stuff on here. It's a good band. You just didn't hear it because you were 12 and they listened to it on the radio.
I mean, but vinyl that I buy is always either shit I already know I like, or it's got to be a band that I'm you know, it's their new record and I like the other shit, so I'll take a chance. But I don't, the way you used to go and just sight unseen, be like, well, I'll try this, you know, like I don't do with the vinyl that I buy. I don't really
Right.
take a lot of trials.
Well, vinyl is good, really good for old country and like old blues and R&B, because a lot of that stuff isn't even on Spotify and it's super cheap. You can dig through like the bargain bin of like old country and get like a Webb Pierce album for like 99 cents and shit like that. You can Charlie Rich or whatever the fuck. You can get a ton of
The place that was really great for it was, you knew those cats over. What's the place on Melrose,
Going
Vince?
underground.
That guy had the hugest country selection.
Still does.
And it's all like $5. Are they still open or are they just online?
I don't know if you can go in or not, but they're definitely open and they definitely like you can go pick shit up or get it.
Yeah.
All right. Rob Sacuzo would like to know, what's your worst airplane story?
Ooh.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm not a good flyer. We all know that.
I've seen it.
I think when I was banged up leaving Portland and I was singing Guns N' Roses, just a shockingly embarrassing. Pop had to come and stop me from being a jackass on the airplane.
You were like tweaking and like yelling. And I'm like, Burns.
That was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was a whole weekend of and I was just destroyed mentally and physically. I think about that every time I get on a plane since then. Like, hey, let's keep our lips shut.
Gnarly, what happened on the airplane, dude?
I don't know, man. Flying's always been cool with me.
Like flying to
Yes.
Japan and shit, like those long ass
Yeah,
flights.
because I got a shit house. It was free booze, so I'm just passing out. But going to Texas this year was kind of scary. We flew out of Burbank right into a thunderstorm. We're the last plane that was allowed to like go into Dallas, and my chick already hates flying. And that like entry into Dallas was pretty fucked up. A lot of turbulence, lightning and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was lasted for about 40 minutes straight, I want to say. And then we got there, and there was a tornado like 4 hours later. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And flying back was easy. But going into that thunderstorm like really freaked her out, and I was just playing that Plants vs. Zombie game on the TV.
Oh, man.
I was in a prop plane that made an emergency landing once.
No.
Did I ever tell that story?
No.
When I was 14, this makes sound like such a fucking dork. I took a geology class at the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. And we were there for 2 weeks, whatever, or something. And then you fly back, and this little airport, it's a prop plane going to St. Paul and then back to Detroit Metro. Takes off for a minute, and they turn around, and nobody says what's going on. And then we land back at the airport, and there's ambulances and fire trucks and shit. And they go, get off the plane, it's on fire. So we get off, and then I'm this kid, and there's no more flights. And then I think my mom, like, without even talking to my parents, they just put me in a rental car with two adults, to drive to fucking St. Paul and stay in a hotel until the next morning. And then I would fly from St. Paul, and like nobody told my family or anything. And I just remember being in this rental car, and they want to be normal, but they were like making jokes about like killing me and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I just got my own hotel room by the airport in St. Paul, and I slept in, and then just fucking, yeah, that was my story.
Wow.
And my mom I remember when I landed, she wanted to she was like raising hell because she couldn't find out where I was.
Joked about killing you.
That sounds like that's like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
/ Home Alone.
Except you're a little nerd.
Fucking 80s, man. 80s and early 90s were a very, very different time. That was when a young man could just go off into the depths of Saginaw, Michigan, into very sketchy areas on his Huffy dirt bike, and then come home by dinner time, and it was all good. It's just, who knows where you were, but you were out there in the world experiencing a lot of weird shit throughout the day.
That's like the basis for that entire Class Action Park documentary on fucking HBO is the fact that it's the 80s and shit just fucking whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anything goes, baby.
A couple years ago, I was flying from here to Detroit, and we were like about an hour or less from Detroit, and I had like sort of been sleeping, and I woke up, and I was just like, oh no, I didn't. It was one of those things where like, do I need to throw up? Am I freaking out? What's going on? And I just was like, I just passed out. And Georgia's like, oh fuck, he's dead, you know. So she's like getting the guy on the other side of me. They ring the bell. I wake up. It's one of these like, is there a doctor in the house deals? Two people, like one, like there was like a doctor and then like a fucking EMT, and it was decided who was going to do it. And so they put this oxygen on me. I'm like, no. I wake up. I'm fine. They put this oxygen on me, and they're like checking on me and shit the rest of the way. And the dude who like, he was some kind of like neurologist or some shit like that, because when we got off the plane, he's like, do you know what happened to you? And I was like, no, except that I had only had like 2 beers, so I knew I wasn't like shithoused. And he goes, a lot of times if you're like cramped up, like there's like a nerve in the brain that he's like, if you could have laid down, you'd have been fine, but the blood was such, and so the brain was just turned off. I'm like, well,
Not breathing
Tall
properly.
guy problems.
I wish I would have stayed asleep, you know. But it was so embarrassing, you know, because then as soon as I wake back up and there's all these people in an oxygen tank, and I'm just like, get the fuck away from me, you know. Yeah,
Dude, fuck. Passing out or fainting is so goddamn embarrassing.
mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when I was probably 12 years old, and we'd have to go to church. Like, I went to church like 3 times a week. Because it was for some fucking reason. You'd be in school, we go to church on Sunday, go to church, because church sometimes and there's no air conditioning in those old fucking things. Like July in Michigan, it's 95 fucking degrees in there. It's boring as shit. It's fucking, they got incense burning. It's a fucking shit show. It's stupid. And I just passed out, and then woke up like, you know, you got the doctor, Family Guy, and then someone's fucking hitting you with the smelling salts. And it's like, even at that age, it's like, get off me.
Yeah,
What the fuck? Get the fuck away from me.
yeah. That was the other example that doctor gave me. Is like, it happens to people in church a lot. You know, you're stuck in the pew for like an hour, and people fucking knock out. You know, I don't know, dude.
And it's like, you especially if you were with like your class, like there's the chick with the big boobs you want to give smooches to, and that's done now, man. You get all the way through high school, you're the fainted guy from fucking church, and no one's giving you any sort of smooches behind the school after school. Nightmare.
I mean, even in like 2nd grade, I got pushed off a fucking hayride and fucked my ankle up. It's like, you just don't want to be like, you just want to blend in at all times.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's been my goal my entire life. Just blend in, and no one even looks at me.
Dan Wilkin, in case this hasn't already been mentioned, whose idea was it to start recording and posting Monday Night Beers? I feel like it was like
The
me
Lord.
and Pop were going to try to do something, and then it just turned out that we should all do something, and then the pandemic happened, and we were like, yeah, it was kind of a team effort, I think, right?
Yeah, because we probably wind up doing this anyway, so we can still hang on account of the COVID. So we might as well record it and let the world see how it is.
Yeah, we
Beauty.
for sure talked about it.
Yeah.
But then, like, out of necessity, this became nice. This is our Monday Night Beers. This is
Right.
We have to do it this way now.
Yeah. So it's you know, the real Monday Night Beers, the old days, those sometimes lasted 3, 4, 5 hours. You know, but
Yeah,
we
it
try
depends,
to keep this.
man. Those would go hard sometimes out of nowhere.
We should do a YouTube where we hang out for like 6 hours. And then we all leave, and then Gnarly and Dubuchet hang out for like 2 more hours, and then
They're
And
off
then
next to a car dealership.
Charles J. Sword. Since it's Labor Day, what are the worst jobs you've ever had and the worst job you've ever heard of someone else having?
Every job I've ever had is a bad job. I ain't trying to work. I'm just kidding.
I ain't trying to work. I mean, I in Michigan, there's a deposit bottle fee, 10 cents for cans and things. And in college, I did this, and for several years in high school, I sorted cans at grocery stores. And essentially, you're sorting trash filled with dip spit and fucking cigarette butts and just disgusting swill. And it's you're sorting trash in a closed, hot room. And I liked it because it was awful, disgusting. You're handling disease at all times, but I was left alone. And that is the key, the number one thing for any job that I've ever looked for is leave me the fuck alone.
Oh, yeah, those
Let
are
me
the
do
best.
my job. Let me do my job with my head down, collect my money, and go home. And if you can get something like that, it's the best, even though you're sorting trash covered in disease.
I mean, I think the hardest job I ever had was roofing. That sucked. I've worked some office jobs that were technically easy, but they were so weird and boring, it kind of drove me insane. A couple times I parked cars in like country clubs outside of Detroit, and I didn't make any money, and those people were fucking insane, and I hated it. But those were only for a couple days.
Hold on, Pop.
Yeah.
Let's not glaze over when you're parking these cars.
Okay.
The guy who fucking snapped that bill in your face, please.
Okay. So, long story short, I had landed a job, but it wasn't starting for like a couple weeks. I was out of money, so I'm going through the paper. I need something that pays cash. Found this job parking cars. They hired me over the phone, which means it's going to suck. And I go to this country club in like West Bloomfield or something. And then I'm like 23 at this point. And all the other people parking cars are like teenagers who are like members of the club. And immediately they're all like making fun of me for being like old and stuff. And they're like, what are you, poor? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here, motherfucker. And so, so we're parking. So they're not even. I'm doing all the work, and I'm parking the car and sprinting and parking, and I'm sweating the whole day. I'm like, I just gotta I'll quit. I'll finish the damn thing. Nobody's giving me a tip. Nobody gave me a tip the entire fucking day. Get to the end of the day. Also, yeah. So I get to the end of the day. And this guy hands me his golf clubs. I put them in the trunk. And he goes, hey, guess what? I go, what? And he takes out a dollar bill. And for a split second, I think, oh, someone's finally tipping me. It's not much. He's a nice guy. He goes, today's not your lucky day. And then he like pressed the dollar bill against my face and put it back in his wallet. And he goes, and then he like sped off. And I was like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
What was so What was so funny is it was so weird. I didn't even process it until he was already driving away. It was like when you hypnotize a chicken or something. I was just like, what the fuck? And oh my God.
Unbelievable.
For
sure.
For years, I thought about like, how great would it have been to just like beat the fuck out of that guy. But now it's been long enough ago that now it's just kind of a funny story. But yeah, I don't want to go back to that job.
At 23, young Mike Burns would have popped that guy.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's the wrong call. It just it was so stupefying.
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything.
Yeah. You're forever burdened with that story in your head, like George Costanza, like the jerk store called and they're all out of you. Like you can't, like I should have said that. I should have fucking knocked them. And your parents would have been like, what did you do? You wouldn't have gotten in trouble. They'd be like, he shoved money in my face and pushed it on me and then said, fuck you, essentially. Your brothers and your father, I'm sure, would have been like, yeah, that guy had it coming to him.
Missed out.
I always loved that. Like, I think Vince has spoke on this. Like I had that talk when I was a kid. Never start a fight, but if you get in one, finish it, and just tell me. Be honest about it. You won't be grounded. No problems. And I would stretch that so thin. I'd be like, well, I don't know if this is. I could probably finagle this into being his fault. Might as well get a few swings in. Get my aggression out.
When a motherfucker presses a dollar bill against your head just to fuck with you, like there's no one who isn't like, oh, you need to turn the other cheek. Like, no, that guy has to get fucked up, you know? And it's like, it's so insane that it makes sense that you were just like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah, I just like, I feel, it's almost embarrassing, but it was like, I was just like, what? And then he already just peeled out, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just fucking go home. And I didn't make any money, I just quit.
Yeah.
I didn't even like get the check, whatever it would have been for like 3. And then I just started that new job like in a couple of weeks, and it's fine. But one day I'll find him.
You know his name?
The guy? No, I don't think it's just some dumbass, some dumbass rich guy in West Bloomfield. And I know, I just remember he had golf clubs. So I'm going to go to West Bloomfield and look for like a 60-year-old guy with golf clubs now. And then I'm just going to kill all of them.
That guy's probably dead from a coronary.
Yeah.
I worked an office job that was like dealing with mortgage brokers over the phone, and these guys would fucking just like call you motherfucker and you're fucking fuck whatever, and then your boss
Boiler room shit,
listening to all the calls and be like, we noticed you you didn't say goodbye on that last call, or you didn't like. I'm like, the fuck? And you had to press a button to leave your desk, and then at the end of the week they'd look and be like, well, what were you doing here when you stepped away from your desk? Like, well, I had to take a fucking piss, you know? But it was just
been there, dog. Hate those jobs.
Yeah. Not the end of the world, but definitely a shitty job.
Yeah.
And then the shittiest job that I ever saw anybody have was when I worked at this park. There were like, I don't know if it was like septic or just like sewage tanks, but there were guys who would roll in and have to go into it. Like would put on these suits that didn't even that, like just like whoop, just drop in over their head into whatever the fuck it was, sewage, you know.
I was just talking.
My God,
I was just talking to Emily about this. When I was a kid, we were playing like I was at a friend's house playing like hide and go seek or something, and I like was in the basement and I fell into like their septic tank up to like, and it was disgusting.
You fell in it?
It was something like I just went like waist deep into the thing, and it was
there was also a park that might even have been in West Bloomfield. Possum Hollow was the name of the park. It was a metro park, but all they had were pit toilets, right? They didn't have like flush bathrooms. It was just, I only explained a little bit more because I don't think Georgia first understood what I meant. It's just like a hole in the
shitholes.
Right?
Yeah,
shithole
in a shack,
literal
bathrooms. And so someone has to come and, open the thing and drain it out just like a porta potty. But one time, like a woman went into the bathroom and like either when she got up or before she sat down, she looked and there was just a dude in there who was like, some kind of fucked up like pervert dude who was like, had gotten down into the fucking hole just for the opportunity to look at it. It's like, as soon as they sit down, you're not going to be able to see a fucking thing, and you're standing.
Dude,
it's about getting hit with something on that.
Or maybe it was about getting hit with something. I don't know. They dragged his ass out of there for sure.
That is just way too horny, baby.
that is like crackhead Chuck Berry behavior. Worst job I ever had was Old Navy for 2 weeks. I couldn't stand it. Being on the floor in a retail situation in Chicago was so awful, and I got rashes from the dye when you just fold T-shirts all day on the floor, and they play the Gap Band like same 10 songs over and over every day. And one day I woke up and I was with my ex, and I was like, it was a Sunday and I was supposed to go into work. I go, are you okay with me just fucking quitting and not having a job. I can't go do this job again. And she's like, yeah, don't go. And I just, no call, no showed, didn't pick up my last check, just fucking pieced out, was not worth it. Fucking awful.
I've done that before, dude. Sometimes for your own sanity, even though you know you need money, you just got to pull that cord and get the fuck out.
Definitely.
Got to get the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
Panera Bread, dude. That place was like my nom. Terrible people. And I was fast, so they made me work the dining room. There's never any tips. People would just assume you have to you leave your trash, and I was pretty much busting and doing a waiter's job with no tips, and sometimes getting grabbed by old people who wanted to make sure their order was right first. Then they'd also get mad at me because I'd never asked for surveys to be done by the customers. Like they want you to ask them to do a survey 5 minutes after you give them your food. I'm not bugging anybody.
No one wants those.
But if you did ask me for any extra shit, I would just give it to you because I didn't care. It's not coming out of my wallet. I had beef with some of the people who worked there. This one old guy was a retired teacher. He just had straight up Ric Flair white hair, brush over, and a Ric Flair mustache. Or Ric Flair doesn't have a mustache. We had that white mustache. And he was just
Ric Flair mustache.
He was hitting me with what is this music that is being played right now? I don't fucking know, dude. What do you want me to do? And he's like, please ask somebody. Then Imagine was like, tell him to Pandora Panera Radio. And I was like, it's Pandora Radio. Then that same guy was like, how do you make the soups? And I was like, they're cold and they're frozen. We just boil everything. And I'm just giving him all the secrets, and then he ratted on me.
That's why you can't.
I also quit that kind of burn style where the manager gave me some backhanded shit, and I was just like, I'm not coming back. So at that point, I started screen printing a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm just leaving, dude. Can't do this anymore. Busting tables is terrible.
I was lucky enough to quit a job by telling someone to fuck you to their face.
Ooh.
That's the dream. How'd it go?
When I was back in Michigan taking care of my dad, broke as broke can be, fucking miserable in life, I took this job at this golf course doing maintenance, and the guy in charge was such a fucking cock. It was a deal where they say they're going to pay you this, and then your first check comes, they're not paying you that, and it's almost like they're going to see if you're going to call them on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it was just fuck with me. And we would have to put irrigation in, and you wouldn't let us test it. So you cover it up. Of course, there's a leak. You got to dig everything up, resod it. It's just fucked. And so finally, it's getting to be the end of the summer, and somebody was because we'd have to work on these houses too. The golf course owned a subdivision or something. And someone was who's is this guy staying on or whatever? And I just hear him go, he's like, yeah. He's like, this fall, Vince is going to be my bitch. And I fucking popped up off of the piece of irrigation I was working on. I was like, you know what, man? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. And I left, and I got my last check in the mail, but what I left behind were, Bernsey, you would know, I can't think of the name, but these really nice fucking boots that I had bought when I moved to New York. So kind of more hiking, winter style boots, but I was using them because I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
So I lost a $300 pair of boots, but fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And,
it's worth it. It's worth more than money.
Yeah, to be able to tell somebody to fuck off.
I think those were a winterized Air Force One.
No, it was I'll think of it. It was a brand.
Was it a winterized Bo Jackson?
No, it was not a Nike at all. I had bought these at a fucking REI type of place, and it's the kind of boot that you eventually get resold. They're it's such a nice top, you know.
Was it a Vask Sundowner?
Probably. I'll find
was
out.
Was it the maroon hiker Vask Sundowner?
Yes.
Yes. Oxblood?
Yes.
Premium boot. And I think you had the second 2.0 version of those that had the little collar around a stitched collar with a darker leather. But that's definitely a Vask Sundowner, because I had them in black, and I eventually sold those used. And it was I sold those when I moved to LA. I still had them. I sold them to somebody for $250 used, because they were so perfect and broken in, and you couldn't get that version with the Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
Those are a nice boot. Nice boot.
I want to find that guy. Anyway.
Let's just line up all the guys we want to tell to fuck off, and we'll just.
Welcome to Monday Night Beers, the fuck off edition. Eddie Paschetti.
Oh, I have.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I've got another fuck off. Mrs. Wiggins in the 5th grade. This kid got this brand new squirt gun green ruler, and he came up to me after school and fucking hit me with it, and it broke, and he started crying, and then I got suspended for the day for breaking this kid's ruler by Mrs. Wiggins. I got in trouble at home trying to explain to my parents I didn't fuck up this kid's fancy ass new ruler when I'm the one who got blasted with it, and this shitty ruler broke. She is on my shit list forever. I had to do work on her house in high school. I had to go fix her fucking pool because I was putting in driveways and concrete things, and I did all this masonry work and plumbing. And this fucking bitch, she fucking came out and saw me, and she goes, told my boss, I'm surprised you've hired this guy. It's just like you're taking a real risk having him around your business. I was 20 years old at this point. She still hated my guts from the 5th grade. I fucking hate her. She's on the shit list. Someday I'm waiting for that obit. I want to see that obit because I'll fucking date.
Oh yeah, we'll go flip a table over at that funeral, Burns.
Bam! The fucking funeral potatoes be flying.
what did you guys say what the worst job you know somebody else to have or whatever? The second part of that question?
Oh, let me think. Somebody else go. And
Mine was a sewage diver.
Yeah, you were the sewage diver. Anybody?
My buddy Leo sells cell phones. I feel like that sucks. But he's a weirdo though too. So that's why he's good at it, I guess. Like he's that guy who can just talk to anybody. Like anytime I go somewhere, if there's like a freak in the room, he's usually hanging out with that guy like for no reason. At that time I told you I left the Roost to go meet up with him, and he was there at 2 p.m. I got there like at 7, and he was hanging out with the Eddie Money guy. I was like, this is too much. I gotta leave, dude. Like they were giving each other hugs and smoking cigs outside. I was like, I'm out. That guy sells cell phones. I feel like that sucks. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Shitty job.
I appreciate anyone, like when I go in to go to T-Mobile or whatever, and the guy is super knowledgeable and they fucking are ultra helpful and like make your transaction smooth. Like those are great guys. Like someone that can do that job on a day in, day out basis and still provide great customer support. That's the kind of guy that I will do they asked to do the survey at the end. I'm like, yeah, I will take 10 minutes on the way home to do this because
it's a long time.
It's so rare to find something.
I don't know, it's funny. Well, this might seem counterintuitive, but I've worked in offices for like 12 or 13 years, and I just was around so many people who like made pretty good money, but they just seemed like miserable freaks to me. And they seem like almost like robots or like pigs, I guess. I don't know. It's like I don't want like one of the reasons I got into comedy is like I can't be around these people. It's so bad. They're just whereas I've worked jobs, doing manual labor, and everybody was broke, but people were having a good time. You know what I mean? And you sometimes go to offices, and it's just like this is bad vibes.
I feel like if you do like road work in Arizona, it's gotta, you're just getting cooked every day out on the fucking asphalt. Like,
yeah.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Eddie Paschetti, have a band you were really into for a hot minute and then just stopped following. So like you dug a band for a second and then either didn't like them anymore or.
I mean,
AFI shit was tight, and then their last 3 records, they try to get their money, and it was like, I'm just down with, but I'm gonna stop listening to new shit anyways. And I haven't kept up with any of it, and I don't know.
Sunvolt is a band. Their first album is classic. Second one's they're a band that I really like. I love Uncle Tupelo and whatever, but like Sunvolt's a band that I was really into, and then they're not bad now, but they kind of fell off a little bit. I don't really pay attention. Wilco's a band I I've seen them live probably 10 times back in the day when I lived in Detroit, but I haven't seen them. I don't really pay attention to them too much anymore. Not that they're bad. It's just not my thing as much as it used to be.
Sun Volts, I forget the first album, and then The Search is their second album. Both great. And then like they put out a new record, and they tried to lean it real political heavy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that's not fun for me to listen to. The whole world is pasted with that kind of sentiment. I don't need you to preach to me, man. Tell me about a heartbreak. Tell me about a heartbreak you went through or something.
Or driving down the road and listening to the radio. That's all I want, man.
Yeah. I guess
Weezer also. First two albums are great.
Yeah.
Now
I'll say
they.
Kanye.
Sorry, good.
First two Kanye records. I just got those on LP. Two of in my opinion the greatest hip hop albums. You know, you go in the top 100 easy, and then all the experimentation shit. I don't care about that. Like, listen to the first two records, and they're fun and great, perfect beats that he sandbagged, didn't give to Jay-Z, unbelievable recordings, and then you know he goes a little fucking crazy, and I don't need to hear all the auto-tune weird ass shit.
I tend to concur with all of this. I don't, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of bands you're like that have started to suck, or you know, they had a good record or two, but yeah.
And then I think you should, you know, there's a lot of bands that stayed good, like that are older, like a new Judas Priest records are great. They're still good. The band didn't change.
Debatable.
The new stuff with Halford is really, really good. You listen to a new Iron Maiden record, still fucking, the formula is still there, and they're fantastic. John Prine, like there's certain guys that are singer-songwriters or metal guys that don't follow trends and just stay true to what they make. And I think that's, you know, that's,
or at least know how to make it still, because like,
yeah.
Metallica knows what the formula is, you would think, but they certainly are not practicing it, you know?
Saint Anger rips, dude.
It's that snare that gets you, dude. You love that fucking ding,
I
ding,
fucking
ding.
hate that album.
That trash can sound.
Mm-hmm.
Your lifestyle determines your death style.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Next tattoo, baby, on my back.
Spider B, favorite trash reality shows.
90 Day Fiance is good.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm big on the 90 Day Fiance Pillow Talk episodes where they have the other couples watch them and just shit on them the whole time. That shit goes.
Yeah, we watch those hardcore. In our household, we also watch
doing this morning.
Real Housewives of New York is very popular with the lady. And on Wednesday nights when I edit the Power Move show, I watch that with one headphone on and enjoy that. And then we're a big Vanderpump household, but this season of Vanderpump Rules absolutely sucked ass, and I hope they flip it around if they even make it again.
Bar Rescue. I mean, to me, fucking Top Chef is kind of a trash reality show just because it's the same formula, and they do the same shit to make you mad or not make you mad, whatever. What's that, Pop?
I was saying like Hoarders, I can't watch because it bums me out too much. It's just like
Cheapskates. You guys seen Cheapskates? That one's pretty
No.
foul. I was asked to change the channel yesterday. It's on TLC. It was this like bigger woman who's afraid of the doctors. So they get a fire extinguisher, put a pillowcase over it, pump it a few times. Then her husband gets tweezers and collects that dry ice and puts it on her moles. And then Marina was like, "Yeah, you gotta change that."
What the fuck is wait? What is
Cheapskates? I guess it's just about people who do fucked up things because they don't want to spend money. But like, yeah, this chick was laying down getting dry ice put on her moles and like screaming and shit because she doesn't want to go to the doctors. Oh, this is gross.
What's the one like? No, sorry.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, one of the all-time greats.
Do you ever watch My Strange Addiction? Or it's always the one like, I only eat pizza or I only eat French fries.
Yeah.
And then every single one is like, they were like 7 and just wanted to eat it, and their parents just let them do it, and now that's all they eat, and it's.
I only eat crayons. It's just shit like that. I'll tell you what, my new favorite thing, like on my chat board with the boys, is I've figured out that if you type in John Taffer in GIFs.
Oh, Bar Rescue, of course, is the best one. I can't believe I didn't even say that.
Vince mentioned it.
Okay. Oh yeah.
If you go into your GIF whatever app of choice and type in John Taffer, you can continue a conversation with anyone only using John Taffer GIFs because there's so many. There's this there's get out, him throwing shit. You can it's only speaking in John Taffer GIFs is my new fucking thing.
Did you guys see? I don't think it lasted very long, but there was a John Taffer reality show where people came to him for couples help.
Oh my God.
Like they didn't know. They just, all the couples knew coming in as they were like going on this thing to like get help with their relationship. And then it turned out it's John Taffer. And they're like at this resort and he like each morning he's meeting with them and fucking barking them down about what they're doing and not doing it. It was horrible.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Watch the first 2. They were, I couldn't. It was just not good.
The wildest thing about that show is you'll see someone who is clearly an actual alcoholic. And then John Taffer will just be like, cut it out. Like, don't drink anymore. And they're going to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not. It's just like.
You're ruining your family. Isn't it good for you?
And it's like, oh, shit, my bad. I won't be addicted to alcohol anymore. I'll show up tomorrow sober.
60 Days In, I think it's called, or 90 Days In. That prison show on A&E. That's pretty tight.
How does that work? Like the
people volunteer to go to jail to pretty much do like secret shopping, like find out what's wrong with the jail, like who's getting away with what. There's always at least like one white guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna adapt. This is gonna be great. Everyone likes me. This guy just let me borrow all this shit. Like, I'm getting respect around here. And it's like, no, that guy's gonna try to rape you. Like, it's hilarious, dude.
So, but even the guards and shit don't know.
No one knows.
Oh fuck!
It's tight.
What's the point?
Especially the first 2 seasons, because there's this Marine, I forget his name, but he ends up like running shit within a week. He's like, so I got this down, man. Like, I was in the Marines my whole life. I understand structure, like how it goes. Like, people go to him for advice. Like, there's a part where he almost has to whoop somebody's ass, and he's like trying to figure out how to like not do that without like losing respect. So he's like, I had someone else do it for me.
Wow.
What if you go on that show and you start killing people and become like the shot caller of the whole jail? And then
it's tight. The I think season 5 is the newest one they have on Hulu. That one's pretty good. I think season 3, like this housewife finally just like, yeah, I'm gonna do drugs, and like she sniffs like some pills with like the other like inmates in there. She's like, I don't care, I'm in jail.
Dude, no fucking way.
If you're joining us for Monday Night Beers and you have not seen Shot Caller, if you like this show, you should watch Shot Caller tonight.
I couldn't sleep last night. The other night, and I watched it for like the 5th time. It's such a great movie.
It's so good.
Stop action, man.
High Spirits Shirts, friend of the show. You're drafting for your 2020 Rock and Jock baseball team. Who's your pitcher and batter? I'm going to keep Dan Cortez on the mound in 2020. I'm going to keep Dan Cortez, and I'm going to have Dave Mustaine batting.
Oh, my God.
Gnarly, do you know what Rock and Jock is?
Nah, man.
It's like an old MTV thing where they would have like rock and roll people or music people, and then they'd have athletes playing a softball game.
It'd be like Frank Thomas hitting a home run off of like Jennifer McCarthy or something or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It's like a celebrity softball game with athletes, kind of.
And they did it with basketball also. You'd have like
it'd be like Urkel.
MTV basketball.
Do you guys remember, this was early 90s, mid-90s maybe, there was a 3-on-3 league on ABC, and it'd be like celebrities plus ex-basketball players. So it'd be like George Gervin and Urkel and whatever, and they would all play basketball. and it was basically like a Gus Macker tournament, but like celebrities and expats. Do you guys remember that? Am I crazy?
No, but
Okay.
I'll tell you, dude. Someone just sent
I
me.
believe you.
Somebody just sent me through We Watch Wrestling a bunch of old TV books that came in the Detroit News. You know, like so instead of TV,
Yeah.
it was like the TV book that came on Sundays from 1990. Oh my God, it's amazing to peel through and
Oh,
look
yeah.
at the shit that was on.
Yeah.
It's great.
What's funny about Urkel was what's his name, Jaleel White. He was like,
Yeah.
if you ever played pickup basketball, he was one of those guys who could dribble and shit, but he fucking sucked, and so he was just like doing like he was going like badoo 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 badoo, and then like breaking, and then
I've got Cortez on the mound and Mustaine at the plate.
I remember how remember Mark Wahlberg would play in those rock and jock basketball, and he would just come out on the court and just like I remember there's photos I think you can look up where he's just standing there, pulls his pants down, just stands there in underpants. Like that guy's whole gimmick for like 10 years was just to pull his pants down and stand there.
Who?
Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I thought you said
Mark.
I thought you said Mark McGuire, and I was like, what?
There's nothing-
No, he doesn't want to show off anything. That's all shrunk down.
No, Wahlberg had the underpants deal, man. Of course he's going to pull his shit down.
One of the funniest things is super ripped guys who suck at sports. So they just have to be like, hey, I'm just standing around.
So is this refer to Rock and Jock then, or who I would have now?
In it says 2020, so I guess you're drafting your 2020 Rock and Jock. So I skewed a little old. Maybe I should rethink my answer.
Do we know any celebrities who have played? Well, Kurt Russell played minor league ball.
Yeah.
He's 70 or something, but you know.
Right. Yeah, he might eat it now. Rock and Jock.
I think I'll have Snoop Dogg pitch,
Yeah.
and I'll have
Not 50.
and I'll have Cody Bellinger hit.
He's a drug addict.
That's tough. Like who's
So
Who's
Willie
a-
Nelson, Cody
played-
Bellinger, man.
Yes, there you go.
Who is
who's
this?
current that is who's that one hot kid? He was in the Mickey Mouse Club. He's all jacked.
I don't know, Burns.
Dude, you sound like Jeffrey Epstein right now. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Who's the hot kid?
Who's that hot kid from Mickey
Hey,
Mouse
what's
Club?
Disney?
No, real sexy.
Ryan
Yes.
Ryan
he's the-
Gosling? Ryan Gosling?
No, he's in that one like old school type movie where he's in the frat and he's in charge of the frat next door. It's with Seth Rogen.
Channing Tatum.
Oh,
Philly-
fucking
Philly
what's
Watch.
his dick? Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. That guy's fucking dialed.
I feel like that's a guy who's ripped but isn't good at sports.
Is he pitching or is he
that
hitting?
might be true.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
throw
That
a ball for sure.
might be true. How about the Rock? I'm gonna put the Rock
he's
at
sick.
at center.
Can't use him.
Oh, but no,
Rock-
he's healed up. He doesn't.
The
have
Rock
COVID
probably
anymore.
can't lift his arms over his head. He's too big. He's got too
Can't
many
wipe his
muscles.
own ass.
Maybe it's tough. Snoop Dogg is a nice call though. Snoop Dogg actually is a good athlete.
Willie Nelson tossed a softball.
Definitely. Although
Have
if
you
you catch the line drive back, all
Oh,
bets
he's
are
dead.
off.
He's dead.
Have you seen Snoop Dogg run routes like football highlights?
Yeah.
Like go wide out. Like he was a good. He played basketball and he played football in high school. He's like 6'5" and lean and fast. Great.
You can't convince me that Snoop Dogg is fast. I feel like he's totally baked. He's just like slow motion. He's like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, dude, but there's
That's
some
why
people
Bellinger
who
changed the
fucking-
game for
who
stoners.
are weed smokers who it doesn't affect them. Like I'm a couch cushion piece of shit if I smoke dope, but like gnarly, I could go and would take down 50 milligrams and just
I
still
played
shows
video
up to the
games hard
bar.
on Friday. After I left your place, Burns, I was fucking on the Xbox. I didn't play in 3 weeks. I was running the table.
I gotta tell you, it was a special thing. Me and Gnarly sat outside, nice big space outside,
Mask on.
and had a couple beers. And Gnarly ripped a whole joint like it was a Marlboro Light, and it was a beautiful moment.
It was his birthday, dude.
It was his birthday. Great.
Dude.
So did we do it?
I think so.
Do we ever?
Is that it?
Do we ever not do it?
That's it. We clocked it. We rocked it. Happy Labor Day. And we'll see you next time.
Bye,
Peace.
guys.
Labor Day.